Welcome back to another episode of everybody's favorite place to be on a Wednesday morning on the internet. Pitch
Pitch
Practice,
practice.
the
Uh.
show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Jackie. She's busy.
Ah, hey, how's everyone doing today?
We're good.
Another
Good.
day to grow the U.S. economy. Come on now.
That's
We're
it.
improving. We're getting better. Determination, discipline, and just damn plain action. That's what we're doing around here.
That's it. That's it. Uh, we'll call this one Summer in the City.
Okay. Even though Brandon and I live in the rural areas of the country.
So, so what would you call it? That mouth is something else, Laura.
What?
It makes what is do you it makes the movement just kind of I don't know. It's a unique movement that stand creates. You've been using it a lot, it seems like, huh?
This stand,
Yeah.
it's been really helpful. It's a stand that connects to your neck, like when you're walking or when you need an extra set of hands. Like you're in the kitchen and you want to watch the recipe and have it right there in front of you while you're, you know, not chopping, but getting ready to chop.
Getting ready to shop.
Chop, chop, like chop a vegetable. Like if you're watching a recipe and
Ah,
you have
Mhm.
this in the kitchen, it works really well.
okay. You just chop
You know,
and
I always need, yeah, I always need gadgets that make me stand out.
yeah, lost your sound. What
Oh,
so if you wouldn't call it Summer in the City, what would you call it, Brandon?
I don't know. Right now it's hell on earth heat. So that's what I'd call it right now. Yesterday it was 95 here where I'm at.
wow.
And yeah, it's hot.
Oh, 95. Yeah. We're in the hundreds. We've had 100 plus days. So it's just yeah, it's that part of the summer where yeah, you just want to relax. And sometimes you get a little bit I don't know. I guess this year has just been really busy for me. A lot of other things going on, and plans, and yeah.
So let's hype it up. What are we doing today? Why did you choose this book?
Why did I choose this book? I chose this book because of the the name. I'd heard of
Really?
Yeah, I'd heard of the book before, and remember, I'd heard of the book before when Russell Brunson talked about the book, and I can't remember, it's one of the Secrets books, and he talks about the guy who took the advertising company from dead last to first in his niche, and he did that all by using the Dream 100 strategy, and that's what this book is about. Well, I think Russell Brunson summarized it, and I saw the title, and I said, that's interesting about focusing on 12 key strategies. But I'd say that now that we've gotten into it and we've gotten through just the first section before we've even started getting into the meat, he's, well, I think, you know what, there was, okay, just thinking about the last book that we read and how in the beginning there were tons of testimonials, right? This one had quite a few testimonials, but not quite like that book, not quite like the $1 Million Speaker. But he did have these sections: a note to the reader, a foreword, and then a preface. And now there's still an introduction left. So those are a couple of things that we went over today. But there was really one thing that stood out to me from all of these kind of pre-words. And you know what that word is, right?
Let me guess. Brandon, you take your first guess. I'll take my guess second.
I know you're gonna. It's probably the same thing you did too. What's your guess, Brandon?
I don't know, sales.
I was gonna say discipline.
Very, very close.
Ah,
Two. Okay, I'll say it like this: 2 words before that too.
Oh, with the pig-headed discipline.
That's it.
Yeah,
got it.
that was my
Pig-headed.
that was my choice B.
Yeah, I think I think it was said maybe 8 or 9 times.
Yes,
It
it
was
was
it was said a
pig-headed,
lot.
pig-headed, pig-headed.
But speaking about this book, so I know we're talking, before this on the intro to it. It was actually FHL 2021. Amanda Holmes was there. I think that's when she was walking around with the board on her back. I don't think it was this past one.
Ah, so tell us about that.
Uh, I just I just remember this crazy young lady walking around FHL with this giant billboard on her back and handing out little booklets of a book that she said I guess was releasing the following year. I think like intro chapters or whatever. Probably her take, like her portions of the rewrite, because we're not reading the most recent edition of it. But the only thing that's changed about it is just her annotations and how she has put in examples of companies that have used the tactics of the ultimate sales machine to grow their business, and ClickFunnels was one of them that are mentioned as I'm listening to the audiobook of it, as well as reading the older version. So yeah, when I looked up the book on YouTube to see if there's any like summary editions or anything like that, Amanda's channel was the one that popped up, and I watched a video and I was like, I remember her from FHL. I didn't know if it was this past year or the year before because they were in the same place. So, both years just kind of blended together. But yeah, I remember her walking around and getting people to sign up for her list to get the advanced copies and things like that.
And that's his daughter, right?
Yep.
They weren't at the same place, Brandon.
21 to 22?
Yeah, no, because remember we were in
Oh,
2020.
okay. There was in Kissimmee then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
In 21, the stage was different. They had it set up virtual and in person. And then
Yep.
in 2022, I never forget that opening. I just remember that opening when that first day when they had that little computer come on and
Yeah.
said like welcome. It
Yeah. It's
it
pretty
was
crazy.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. But I thought she was there last year, but I guess not because the book came out in 22 that summer. So it was like, yeah, it makes sense. She was there 21 to promote the book for 22. Yep.
Uh, that one was interesting. That was the year where uh it was I think they were saying I don't they were saying is that the year that it was just opening back up from COVID, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And what words did you take away from that, Laura? Or
Definitely discipline. That was my one. So if it's pig-headed discipline, I wonder what he exactly means by pig-headed.
I I can tell you because I can be pig headed sometimes.
Go ahead, go ahead. I want to know. Want to know.
Pig headed. It's and it was interesting because listening to him tell his stories, uh I think one of the guys that wrote the, maybe it was the Michael Gerber intro, and he said about Chet Holmes being a master. And he said that I thought that Chet would only focus on his area of specialty when writing this book. But he said that Chet actually touched on three things in this book. I think it was management, marketing, and sales. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
managing, marketing, and sales, I want to ask you guys about those three too. Uh, a question about those three. What what do you think is the most important, and what do you think that you are the best at of those three?
Mm.
What do you think
Okay.
is what of those three? Which one do you think is the most important? And then of those three, which of those do you think are your strengths? You have the most strength in. But he said it's about storytelling. And he also said that not only is he telling you, but he's telling you it's about storytelling by telling a story. That was one of my another one of my takeaways.
Mm.
Okay. So wait, what's pig headed?
It Stubbornness, being able
Okay.
to, yeah, being able to stick to something until it's completed. Uh, we were talking about the phrase, I think, right before we came on, where in here he used the number 4,000.
Yeah.
And what? How does that phrase go, Brandon? What's that phrase?
If you're talking about the discipline part of it, it's not mastering, 1,000 kicks. It's mastering that one kick, or not practicing 1,000 kicks. It's practicing that one kick 1,000 times. And he took that from, um, Bruce Lee's motto of who to fear. It's not fear the person that knows how to throw 1,000 punches, but who knows how to throw the one punch 1,000 times or who's practiced it. So, yeah, and I get that. Where I know I falter a lot is in the discipline and getting bored too quickly before mastery and getting squirreled. So I definitely need to turn more into a pig instead of a squirrel.
Well, hey, that's actually good. So awareness brings a lot of luck because then you could change it and then build environments that help you. I read this other post on LinkedIn the other day, and it really caught my attention. It talked about four types of luck, and it said, right, first luck is luck that's blind, can't control it. Like you can't control who you were born into, who you were born as, what your name is. You can't control who your parents are, what town you were born, little things like that, right? The
Mm,
second one is luck of movement. Just for example, moving to a different city maybe enabled you to get a better job. Nothing you changed, just there was more opportunity there, or you met your spouse there, whatever. But the third one is the luck of awareness. So the more aware you are of your own weaknesses, the more you can change them.
mm,
And then the fourth one was, and this is a whole book that I'm gonna read. The fourth one was you can get very lucky by being extremely unique because that some people remember unique things. So one of those things about discipline is, and Brandon, like when you said, "Hey, I kind of get bored with things," I totally get that. there's like so many things that I'm like, ugh, I can't even watch this for like 30 seconds. I know something that's helped me is just be very aware of that. And one of the ways to build um whatever you're lacking is just to be around an environment where your environment dominates, so then you don't worry about discipline anymore.
That's what you mean by create an environment that encourages it.
Correct. So for example, I'm naturally lazy. Makes sense, right? Most people would say the same thing. But one of the things I started doing is my desk is in front of the treadmill, and then which means that there's less than 4 seconds to get on a treadmill, where I could literally run a marathon if I wanted to. So what does that mean? I'm aware of bad habits. So what's an environment creation I could do to enable it? And on top of that, we put a 75-inch screen TV in front of the treadmill. And guess who loves goofing around on YouTube? Me. So I'll just goof around on YouTube with 75 screen inch TV and I'm on this treadmill, right? So that goes by, like, you get lucky by being aware. And then second step, kind of more like a grantism, you create that environment. So you never have to think about being disciplined. You just have to think about, like, I'm making it easy to do something I don't want, but it's actually fun and I don't even think about it anymore.
Uh, it's like having a big water container nearby. It's having that easy access to it, so that it's there, and it's maybe it's a constant reminder, or it's an influencer. It's an influencer of your behavior. So if I have water next to me, I'm definitely more likely to drink it than if I don't. And
Yep,
if
just
and it
just like habit by proximity. Like, it's not even a habit, it's just proximity and access creates no decision or a non-decision in a good way for you. Drink up, baby. Drink up.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah. So when I think about pig-headed discipline, I think about, and that's one of the stories he told, that I said, that's what I do. Um, he talked about when he says that when he starts his seminars, that's how old the book is too, right? When he starts the seminars, he tells people that if you follow these 12 steps, you'll uh, I've used this to what like triple sales for several companies. He says, but most of you won't do it. Most of you won't do it. And he calls that his reverse psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you tell people they won't do it, some people will say, oh, I'm going to show him. And that's what I think of as pig-headed discipline. It's it's pig-headed, like stubbornness, the unwillingness to give up or stop, or until you have done it. I think that's it. Sometimes I'm stubborn, and sometimes it's not easy to do. I don't think it's not easy to do. Uh, when he was talking about doing his karate chops, and he said after 30 days, and I'm thinking, man, 30 days now, that's a long time.
It goes by quick though. I mean, I'm in the middle of my 30-day deal from the beginning of the month, and I can't believe it's the 28th already. It's like, where's the time gone? So, on when you look at it on a calendar, yeah, sure, it looks like a long time when you think about it. But when you're actually in it, living it, doing it, it goes by very quick.
Very true.
Yeah, yeah. And doing something every day for 30 days is, I everybody wants to move. I think since not since we last met, but not maybe couple of weeks, uh we had a brand new social media platform come. Are
Yeah,
you
I hadn't checked it out yet.
you you were you did you hear about it, Laura?
Uh no. One thing I've realized about myself a little bit is I'm more of a late adapter of things. But here's the good news. I'm a very much a late adapter to something. So there's a bell curve of innovation. I'm a person that, like, if I could, I'd stick to, if I didn't know any better, I'd stick to like using a fax machine kind of person. So one of the things, right, is like know thyself, know thyself. So I'm really aware that I'm very much a late adapter, but I keep reminding myself that the one thing I just need to get good at is sales. So it's not necessarily about the best technology. It's about the best ways to speak to somebody, the best ways to overcome rejection. And that is regardless of what bell curve you put somebody on. Um, you could gather information from a book like this one that is what, 16 years old.
Yeah.
That's priceless nuggets, as opposed to on technology. I'm a little bit more of like a late adapter, more like what people would call a dinosaur on things. Of course, like I'm a millennial, but like I tend to hold back with new technology, and that's something I know about myself, and that's okay because the one skill that I said I was going to master and become pig-headed, uh, determined in was sales. So I would say out of the management of time, marketing, and sales, my number one is sales. And I will tell you, it has worked because since I really found out what the hell that even was in 2000 and I don't know, it was 22
Oh,
ish.
wow.
Got it. I just turned 30. What is that? 8 years ago. So since I found kind of how to start thinking about sales, and that you could actually have a career doing it and a six-figure career doing it, that's when I went all in with that skill. And 8 years later, I'm at a six-figure, very nice high six-figure job doing it. So I would say the one thing I'm good at is that, and I'm just gonna keep doubling, tripling down on that specific skill. Everything else, right? I need to improve marketing. Ooh, not really. Management. Well, what kind of management are you specifically talking about? Like people? Oh God, I do not manage people. Barely manage myself.
Yeah, it's one of the most squirmy things to manage. I
Yeah,
call it.
I can barely manage myself. I'm not gonna be managing people. I'm not an ops person. I found that out. I mean, I've managed people before. Uh I didn't. I just can't take people's bullshit. I really can't. And there's so many laws on like how you can actually fire somebody. Like I've fired people in the past, and I didn't know that I wasn't compliant doing it. So I'm like, okay, I should actually take a course if I was to do something like this before again. But of course,
I
technically didn't get me in trouble. But uh, just you need to know your lane, right?
I can't just curse this person out.
Well, I was like, I can't do the Donald Trump move, but you're fired. Click. Oh, it's got a little more to it. So, um, yeah, I would say that's where I focus my attention, and that's what I'm going to keep doubling down. Sell, sell, sells all the way.
Double and triple down using these 12 key strategies. Well,
Well, maybe.
yes. Cool, cool. Brandon?
Um, I had something good, but then I totally derailed off the tracks
Squirrel.
when Laura was talking there.
Squirrel,
I really
squirrel.
did. So you have to bring me back on the tracks.
So we were talking about the three skills that the author said he talks about in the book:
Yeah.
uh, marketing, managing, and sales.
So
And
of those, the one that I'm most heavily focused on getting better at is marketing. I feel I have the sales down um, pretty well, and the ability of just talking with somebody and writing things down. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's all sales is. If you just listen first, speak second, and then take good notes, you're gonna make a sale. Just do that enough. The third part of it with management, kind of with Laura on that, on the management side, I got to be able to manage myself before I can manage somebody else and help them, achieve their goals. So, in my level of orderedness, become a marketing master first, continue to focus on the sales, and then fix my management skills. And I'm on the path. I'm sure you saw my post the other day, digital marketer certified. So
that's right.
Whatever it means to the marketplace, great. I just know for myself, it's part of the self-development, self-improvement deal to learn a new skill. And had I known about self-taught programs, I probably would have taken more of those rather than go to college, because it would have been far less expensive, one, and two, it probably still hold pretty decent weight, in the sense that you already have the skill, somebody's validated and verified it, and now you can just go implement, right? And don't want to go on too much of a tangent here with regards to our secondary education system, but that's essentially what it is anyway. You're just paying 20, 30 times more money for it, to have that piece of paper that says that you took the classes and passed the test. You know what I mean? So, I guess because you spend more money on it, it has more weight, if you want to look at it that way. But education's education, no matter where you get it.
Yeah, and that's a fact. Education's education. It can only improve you, right?
Yep, yep. Uh, Education is, I think it's you can't control the putting something in front of someone. I can put this in front of you, whether it's in a college environment, whether it's in your daily environment, or whether you seek this out personally. Maybe
Right.
that's the fact, but what is, you know, flexible, or what's optional, is what that person takes away from it. So you could put all of this, all of this education, all of this learning, all of these experiences in front of someone, or they can experience it. But what are you going to take away from it? What is that
Yeah.
person? Is that the receiver going to actually use it? Are they going to develop the pig-headed discipline to not just try it once, but continue to do it again and again and again, until that thing that you want to learn, whether it might be marketing, sales, or management, until that thing becomes more than you get better at it, until you become a master at it. And I think that's what we're hoping to take away, or at least get his takes on it. What do you think about the book being so much older, 2007? I mean, we were talking about TiVo today. TiVo.
We
I,
were.
I don't think the age of the book matters. Something that I don't know if I listened to it yesterday or the day before. Oh no, it was the Dan Kennedy podcast. I think it was last Friday they released it, but I'm always about a week behind on it. They were talking about books, right? why you need to have a book and why you need to write a book. We put so much weight and value into books that if it's good and it has a good I don't know what to good instructions in it, I guess, good information, we're less likely to throw away the book. You know, in our culture, throwing away books is pretty taboo. So I don't think it
Yeah.
matters the age, as long as the materials is good in it. So I mean, heck, Napoleon Hill's book was written in what 18 whatever, and it's still being reprinted and reproduced and I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry,
still a top seller.
yeah, still top sellers, written in 1900s, early 1900s.
1930s, I think, 20s,
Yeah,
30s.
and it's still a top seller with principles that you know matter today. And same thing with the Bible, oldest book, the first book pretty much printed, mass produced, still being printed today in various iterations, and you'll be hard pressed to find one thrown away, in the garbage.
So true.
Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah.
why did Dan Kennedy say to write a book?
It's because of the value that a book brings. It's better than a business card. It's more
Yeah.
apt to stick around longer than a business card. It gives you authority in the space. It just does a lot of things for you. And I'm not talking about slapping your name on a PLR and calling it your book, which
What's a PLR?
private label rights material. So
Oh.
that there's materials out there that you can take and slightly edit and alter certain parts of it and then call it your own and
Oh,
say it's
wow.
your own. So I've done that guiltedly. My current guide that I give out is a PLR guide that I license to use. But if you're able to write your own book and call it your own, it definitely will hold more weight and give you more authority in the space, whatever space you're in. So, Laura, you should write a book about franchising.
Yeah.
Not necessarily about franchising, but one of the books that because I can't find a book like this one, is, hey, here are the first 20 sales that I did in the franchise space, and here's why they said yes. I think that would be a hit. I've gotten on a lot of calls this week with so a little bit about our sales funnel. We do zero marketing. We don't actually do any marketing for the brand to go and get any leads. What we do is we market towards the consultants and consultant franchise brokers that go and market to go get people to say, "Oh, I really would love to change my career. I'd like to do something." Right. And they're like, "Great, let us show us, 5-10 opportunities." So we market to those folks. And all that means is where I actually need to spend my time, if I want to gather more leads, is put myself in front of more consultants. So what I've been doing in the last couple weeks is getting my face in front of consultants and honestly realizing how lost some of these folks are. And I'm like, okay, so this guy's like making more money than I could ever dream of. And like, they're not that smart. No offense, right? I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, good. This is what my industry looks like. It's a little it's a little like, you just a very, it's just old and outdated in a lot of sections. It's very gatekeepered. And I often find that the folks that I speak to are just like not prepared. So I'm over here thinking like, okay, um, what is one way that I could help them? So one way that I started making great relationships with consultants is, hey, here's 3 deals that I did recently, and here's why the candidate said yes. And I'm like, does this help you with your deal mechanics of what the ideal candidate is and why this person said yes and how long it took to take it through the process, whether it was 16 days, 30 days, 90 days, or 100 plus days? Because nobody ever makes a decision just on money. They make a decision based on more than just money, especially when you think of being a part of a business. Like, for example, right, one of the reasons why somebody bought one of our franchises was because they found out that the headquarters and the training, out of all the franchise opportunities that they talked to, the headquarters was conveniently only 1 hour from his house. And on that, the CEO of that company um, was also Catholic. I'm like, okay, that had nothing to do with the offering, but if it helps close the deal, let's get you let's get this proposal out. Let's get you signed up. Let's get you become a franchisee. So one of the books that I think would be very beneficial in the market is the decision making process that people chose, and maybe some legal tools that I've used in the past to get people to the finish line, because everybody makes decisions in a different way. It's never like black or white, right? Kind of like, why did you buy, for me, right? Every time I buy something, I'm like, why did you do X or why did you buy Y, right? Like, why did I buy a Jeep instead of a Ford, right? Always wanted this specific car, went from a smaller Jeep to a bigger Jeep. So I could have bought a bigger car, could have bought a Honda cheaper, or I could have bought a different brand. So does that make sense? You got to go into bigger whys
and
and
deeper
also
wise.
and deeper whys.
Yes.
So that's really a book that I'm gonna write.
All right. We're less than 2 minutes left. Uh so hey, as we end this one today, it's been amazing coming on and talking about The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Hope you all are out there following along with us. If you don't have a copy of the book, why don't you? I think you can get it. Well, it's getting a little more expensive, but there's an audio book that you can find online. So we'll be going through the next chapters over the next few weeks. I think someone had a comment recently about last week when we talked about that Oprah speech. Remember when we did that? Maybe
Yeah.
we'll try to find some additional resources, and we'll go through those at the same time while you all are out there following along with us. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of what is it?
Pitch Practice, the show.
Pitch Practice.
The show.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Right.
Enjoy your weekend.
All right. See you guys. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Close the deal. Close the deal.
Jack.